Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You see that title and thumbnail, so come on in, grab a seat, and let's get started. So today I wanted to talk about Peach McIntyre. Now she's been going through it with Wood yet again, and I know a lot of people are looking at her saying, girl, we done been down this road before. Like, at this point, take me out the group chat. I know a lot of people feel that way, but honestly, we have to be more empathetic to women that are in these type of situations, because we already see the situation where her mom is toxic. Now her mom is making videos about her, and she's basically trying to say that what Peach is saying about her childhood is a lie. And I know that there's a lot of people in her shoes where the elders sit here and they have a whole different recollection of how they raised their kids, but they don't really acknowledge their kids' recollection of growing up. My dad is an example as well. Like, he thought he was like the best parent ever, and it's like part of how he raised me is the reason why I suffered from anxiety and things like that. Like, when it came to even helping me with homework, he would curse me out. He would call me idiots all the time, and I would be sitting there crying doing homework because I literally could not understand what I was reading, what I was looking at, and he just got so frustrated so fast. And I guess he thought I was playing or something, playing stupid, I don't know, but homework was like so tough for me. And then there were times where I would bring home like 80, 85, and he'll be like, yeah, you can do better. And those are things that I really like bust my ass on, and he still it just wasn't good enough. So that in itself, just school, it gave me anxiety. So then when it came to college, I was like, yeah, I am not going to college. Like, I made it through this, like I am good. And then he made me feel like stupid. I'm like, well, this man called me an idiot for 10 years of my life, so why do I feel like I could accomplish anything in college? So a lot of people have been through those things, and this is why a lot of people can relate to Peach. I know a lot of people don't relate to her because they didn't have parents like that, or maybe they did and their outcome was different. But I feel like you have to understand that everybody comes out of the situations differently. Just because you made it all right, just because you went to college and you were able to get a master's degree and you got a husband and it doesn't mean that everyone is going to turn out that way. And I think a lot of people think that way. Like, when people speak, they say, well, I had a father that did the same thing and I'm doing all right for myself. And it's like, okay, that's good for you, but that's not the path that I'm on. Well, one thing I can say about Peach is no matter what she's going through, she's going to continue being transparent and basically showing people how she's maneuvering her life with all this toxicity going on. Now, when it comes to her marriage, I feel like a lot of people count her out. They're like, girl, you're not leaving that man. But again, we have to understand that if she's been through a lot of trauma, maybe low self-esteem or fear of being alone or any of those things, then obviously it's going to take her some time. I feel like it's kind of the same as women that are in abusive relationships. We could sit here and call them stupid. Oh my God, why is she leaving? She been with this man 15 years and he beat her ass for 8 of those years and she's still there. And it's like, it's so much that goes into that, so much deeper than people are seeing. And I think that in itself is causing people to think Peach is a liar and things like that because of the back and forth. I feel like, honestly, when you're an adult, you're gonna fuck up. Nobody's perfect. And then, you have one day where you wake up and you're like, you know what? I don't need this man. Like, I don't know what it is. You have an epiphany, something. But you wake up, you're like, you know what? I don't need this motherfucker. Okay, me and my kids, we already doing all right without him. I gotta beg him to help put them in the bath. I gotta beg him to cook some breakfast. So I'm gonna do this by myself. But then you start thinking about being by yourself, and you start thinking about, damn, my mom, she wasn't really there for me as a kid. She always left me with my grandmother, or I was always at my aunt's house, or I was always home alone because my mom had to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. So you start thinking about what it feels like to be alone. You become that 10-year-old little girl again, that 14-year-old little girl again. And then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna make it work. Like, I gave my mom a chance, so let me give my man a chance. This is somebody that I've been with 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever. And he's not perfect. My mom wasn't perfect. So let me give him another chance. And that's exactly like that, roller coaster of emotions that, people go through when they've been through something. I don't know any human that hasn't been through anything. Like, if you could show me a human that says, you know what, I had a perfect life. My mom and dad was perfect. I grew up perfect. My marriage is perfect. My job, everything is perfect. I haven't seen one motherfucker that's perfect. We all got some shit going on. The only difference between me and Peach is the fact that she's willing to, air all her business out on social media. That's the only difference between Peach and you. And you. And you. She's just willing to let it all be on the table. And I think that's another reason a lot of people rock with Peach, because she's not afraid to embarrass herself. A lot of shit that she goes through is embarrassing. I could never. So I give her props for that, okay? In the embarrassment, you have people that feel like she's doing it for clout, or she's doing it just to get views. And it's like, okay, at the end of the day, if I'm going to air my business out and I could get a check, I'm absolutely going to do that. It's the same with me being a reactor. It was somebody on my channel not too long ago. She said, well, you could have just went to the girl's comments and typed this out. I said, but that's doing it for free. Like, I would rather be on a platform where I'm giving my opinion and I'm bringing home money. Wouldn't that be smarter? You got to work smarter, not harder, right? And in this day and age, when we got, all these social media sites where you could earn money, why the fuck not? So guess what? If I could sit at home, take care of my kids, take care of my husband, and bring in the money while he's bringing in money, then by all means, I will do so. At the end of the day, you got to understand that she's not the only black woman in America that is going through something like this. You have we see it on social media. People are so quick to post on their social media what they're going through. Oh, this nigga ain't shit. Oh, my mama ain't shit. And you like, damn, why she putting so much on social media? We don't care. And it's like, a lot of people need help. People need to vent. People need to get it off their chest. People want to find people that they could relate to. Sometimes just talking about it is therapy. And that brings me to therapy. A lot of people say, well, instead of being on social media, go find a therapist. Well, listen, not everybody could afford a therapist. Not everybody has Medicaid that could afford it. Not every therapist is willing to accept Medicaid. Some of them want you to pay by the hour cash. Now, I'm sure you all know that when it comes to the poor folk, we don't have the same resources as everybody else. So it's like we sit here and blame this woman for not getting her shit together when there's a whole bunch of people in our community that don't got their shit together. And they just trying. I feel like one of these days she is going to get it together. Who the fuck knows when? Because it's been an up and down battle. But I feel like, sooner or later that day is going to come where you just get up one day and you're like, you know what? This is the day. I'm going to do it. But I feel like we have to stop thinking that she's lying about everything. Y'all drag this lady so much when it comes to what she says. And she's transparent as fuck. It's crazy. Like the people that are most transparent, people feel like, nope, she lying. Nope, she said this 2 weeks ago. Like, a motherfucker can't change their mind. If I say, you know what, pink is the best color in the world, and you screenshot that, and then next week I say, you know what, green is the best color. Y'all like, this bitch is a liar. I got proof. And it's like, damn, I can't change my mind? Or sometimes you might leave a detail out and they like, I screen recorded. You said something else last year. And it's like, well, god damn. At the end of the day, I honestly feel like it's not even her fault. Because when we're pregnant and we give birth and, we have these kids into our home, they look at, their environment. They figure out, okay, is it okay to lie? Is it okay to steal? Is it okay to cheat? Based off their environment. Is it okay to curse? Body language, mannerisms, all of that is learned. So can we really be mad at people from what they learn based off their environment and their home, in their neighborhood, what they see on TV? And then, another thing I hate too is like with the elders, they sit here and they act like they ain't do nothing wrong. And a lot of y'all too, y'all sit there and act like y'all parents ain't do nothing wrong. Well, they was just raising us the best they could. I love my mom. Yeah, you could love your parent, but it doesn't mean she ain't do some foul shit. A lot of those elders don't like to take accountability. They don't do nothing wrong. They don't say nothing wrong. They just 100% correct, huh? Because they older. And this is why Peach is changing the way she's doing things. And this is what makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Because they sit here and they're like, I wasn't raised like that. She allowed her kids to do what? She ghetto. All because people want to break generational curses and shit. It's crazy. And I noticed that with this generation. You try to do things a little different and it makes motherfucker uncomfortable. Like, what? You cooking 2 and 3 meals because your kids don't want it? What? When I was growing up, I had to eat whatever my mom and dad provided or I starved. And it's like, what type of bullshit is that? That's another thing my father used to do. He knew damn well I ain't like onions and peppers. And I specifically remember every single meal he made, it had onions and peppers because that's what he liked. And I had no choice. He said, eat it or starve. And guess what? I couldn't even take out the onions or peppers. He used to see it on the side of my plate and he used to make me eat that too. And I'm just like, damn, we treating kids like they ain't got no motherfucking rights. Like, they didn't ask to be here. You opened your legs, you laid on your back, you was on your knees, you chose not to swallow, and they here. So why you gotta, raise them like that? And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times I feel like we're making mistakes too because we try to go so left based on what our parents did. We might be fucking up too. I ain't gonna hold you. There's a lot of entitled children, a lot of entitled teenagers because we just trying our best not to raise our kids the way we were raised because we know how that felt. We know how it felt to be cursed out. We know how it felt to not be able to speak your mind because it was called back talk. We had to stay in a child's place, whatever the fuck that meant. I honestly, I'm just praying for Pete. I honestly just hope she makes it through because that, childhood trauma is a motherfucker, okay? You spend your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s trying to work your way out of that shit. And a lot of times you don't even know where to turn to. Because then you sit there and you try to communicate with your parent. Hey, what you did when I was growing up, it really affected me. And they try to, I ain't do that shit. I don't know what you talking about. But anyways, I want y'all to comment down below. Let me know how you feel about what Peach is going through. Do you feel like she's crying wolf? Do you feel like, she's going to be back with that man? Do you think she was lying on her mama? Do you think her mama lying on her? Let me know how y'all feel. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.